time. I don't seem to be getting as many of you interested in this as you were on the MR2 stuff, but hey, this is what's happening now anyway. So what have I done? Bit of decoration on the bonnet. I know what you're thinking. Am I trying to be a Jeep guy with these stars? But no, I'm trying to be two Jeep guys. Ha. Yeah, I don't know. I just had stickers. I just wanted to do something there. I've welded in the bar to across underneath the dash there, which ties in the two A pillars, and brought the dash back down and given it a lick of paint, making it look a little bit nicer. Pulled this crap off the roll cage. There was lots of tape on there for some reason. And these channels. So I got these channels made up through work. It's just sheet steel, and it just ties everything in nice, because the B pillar still had to stick up. I couldn't cut it right down because I would just taken, all the spot welds out from the chassis rail would have been no good. So and this, that seam where it's spot welded as well was a real pain right across there. So just done that, and looks nice and straight and gives you something solid to stand on when you get in. Drilled a couple of holes and just filled it with expanding foam as well, so that just helps really lock it in there and make it a bit more solid, and sealed up all the edges with seam sealer except for the bottom. So just don't want to get shit running down, water, mud, whatever, I don't know, running down into the chassis rails and rotting it out from the inside. So all the tops are sealed, all the bottoms are left open just in case anything does get in there, then it can drain out. But that expanding foam doesn't really absorb water, so I think that'll be fine. Anyway, rambling. I've cut the edges off the rest of this. Here we go. So I ran out of gas, so this is as far as I got so far, and this is why you're getting an update. So tied in this bar, it's all fully welded at the top, at the bottom, mostly around here. This angle bit I already had, so that's not my welding. But it worked, and I just sort of cut that out and fixed it onto the bar, put some extra support in here. I'm drilling a hole out there, so I don't know, I just think before I paint it, it'll be handy to have a hole there if I want to strap anything to the back. I've got something to strap onto, but I still have to finish welding all the rest of that. But the bar's in, the bar's welded. Steel plate there. I've got another one for this side. We'll go there. And I've got all this cut and ready since I ran out of gas and it's a weekend, I can't do much, so that will go there. And then this other part on the same side, this one's a bit more wonky than that, it's not really 90 degrees, but hey, I'm not going to cut it up and re-weld it, it'll be fine. And then, yeah, another brace for the top. So once I got gas next week, I'll finish that up as well. But other than that, the cage is in, like the B bars are in, the whatever you call those, that's in. So yeah, that side's almost finished. Just finish off the other side. Yeah, should hold in the shock quite well. I didn't tie anything down to the shock. I think it'll be fine, because I mean that's the chassis rail for the car, and the distance between there and there is not that bad, or even there and there. I don't think it's just gonna bend in the middle. I don't think I'm going to jump it that much. Yeah, and so giving it some paint, made it look a little bit nicer. I don't know, I think that's about it so far. Yeah, let's see what happens. I've got a few other things I need to do. So next week as well, when I get gas, I need to extend the intake. I can do something with the intake. I was going to put snorkel and stuff in it. I don't think I'm going to go through like creeks or anything like that. So I'm probably just going to put a 90 and go through the firewall there and put the air filter under the dash there. Got plenty of room. It's still pretty high off the ground. That should be fine. Yep. I don't think there's much else. That's about it for the moment. I'll send another update or film another update when I've got more to actually update.
Eventually.
Alright, here we go. So the RAD4 in its nearly final form. What have we done since last time? I probably should have checked, see what we're up to. But yeah, down bar is completely done with the shock mounts. This is funny, see if you notice. I didn't notice till it was fully welded, but I put this bracket in upside down, so it doesn't really match with that one. Kind of the long parts there and the long parts there. Anyway, mounted the rear wheel in. Tow bar as well as the old tow bar that I had. I just had to make some modifications. I got some tow hooks here, bolted through there, welded these brackets on and bolted through this diff support cross member, and another tow hook there. Yeah, it's all been painted in bed liner or underbody sealer, whatever you like to call it. Got the fire extinguisher, the harnesses, intake raised up a little bit. It still should be plenty high. I've got my beer holder. Yeah, we've done this. As you can see, I've already been taking it in for a little thrash in the paddocks. A bit of crap in there. A little ducky. What else is there to say? It's looking good. So I said nearly final form. There's a few other things that I still want to do, but I'm just enjoying it a little bit now. So I'm waiting on some wheel spacers from AliExpress to arrive. So you can see the rear's spaced out, but I just want to space out the front, add some track width, make it look a little bit more aggressive and meaty. Plus the front does rub on the inner guards with these tyres on, so it really affects my steering angle. You can see there we actually hit the gearbox. Lights, so yeah, I'm going to do something with some lights. I got some lights to go in the tops here and a light bar for there. Wanted to do something on the front, maybe build a bash bar or something, even if it's just to go across there. I did want to do something with the exhaust as well. We currently just have that just poking out there with the exhaust cut off the end, because the exhaust used to sit at the back there where the body is missing. But I've got some little like motorbike exhaust, so I was going to bring one out this way, perhaps one out this way. Just when I can be bothered and got a little bit more time to do some fab. Yeah, so I'm going to have to put some switches and stuff in the dash there, turn the lights on and things. It's summer at the moment, and like it doesn't get dark till after 9, so not too worried about that yet. We'll worry about that later. But yeah, I've been doing a bit of stuff around the farm with it. I've been towing trailers full of tree branches and things, and it goes well. It's a bit of fun. Don't know that I've got anything else to say other than I am looking to rebuild a 3VZ for it. I don't think this engine's going to last too long, especially when I keep thrashing it. It's got 480,000 Ks on the clock, and I have heard it knock a couple of times when I've started it. So yeah, 3VZ. I've got a couple of blocks and stuff. I'm just going to build one from scratch and just have a play around and get one ready for this. I've also found on Trade Me a Celica GT4 manual gearbox with the transfer case, so that could be an option too. I might do a manual conversion on it. I don't know, it's money that I didn't want to spend. The gearbox is reasonably cheap, and it comes with axles, but then I'll have to get a clutch. I don't know, you know, I'll be spending money that I don't want to spend. Auto's a bit of fun at the moment, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just get the gearbox and we'll worry about that another time, perhaps. And then moving on from that, you might have seen in the background I got another car. But this one pretty much just to tear it apart. So yeah, this is a 1995 Toyota Camry V6 with the 3VZ. Only has 260,000 Ks on the clock, and it's pretty tidy really. Alright, now that I have the keys. Yeah, pretty tidy really. It's a bit of a shame perhaps to pull it apart. Got a leather interior, wood grain trim, electric seats. Yeah, pretty tidy, pretty reasonably straight. The paint is rough, but it doesn't have any rust. Got the tow bar, alley wheels, and new tyres on the front. This is probably the worst of the paint. It's just kind of flaking off on the bonnet. But yeah, as I said, I just got it for the engine. Pretty much bought this for $50 more than what some people are trying to sell a long block for. So yeah, why not? Really. I get the full engine with an alternator and the ECU and the wiring harness, transmission, which I can probably use some parts for in the RAV, axles, which I can use some parts for in the AW. So the reason I got this is the AW11, the turbo V6 is down a hole. So yeah, we're down compression on this cylinder here. It's a wee bit smoky. I'm not too sure why at this point. I suspect I probably cracked a ringland because I put oil in the cylinder and the compression went up. But yeah, it's still low. I think it was 60 and I got it up to 80 by putting some oil in there. Anyway, so our winter project, we're probably going to pull that engine out. It's noticeably slower and it's got some blow by. We'll rebuild this engine on the side. I've got everything to make basically 2 of those turbo engines, apart from the exhaust manifold. So yeah, I'll just get another one ready to go, and then we'll swap them out real quick. I'm going to take it to get another tune. I'm going to get the injectors flow tested. I'm going to get a new fuel pressure regulator because it's just a cheap one and I don't really trust it. Yeah, so that's another project that's going to come up, as well as building a new 3VZ from scratch for that. This one I'm just using the bottom end, and probably the heads. I'll redo the head gasket, studs, and put all the other bolt-ons on it. Yeah, and we'll find out what's happening with the AW11, but that's another thing actually. We'll take a little walk over here. I got myself water meth injection, so that will probably help us with whatever's happening with the engine, or at least it's a good safety. I can potentially run some more boost as well, so it's dangerous, isn't it? So a bit more on the camera here. That's the engine that I'm going to be pulling out, the 3VZ FE 3-litre V6. That's going to have a turbo slapped on it for the MR2 replacement engine. Anybody wants any Camry parts, let me know. Anything other than the engine and transmission and axles. We've got lots of body panels. Speaking of bodies, they'll probably put a good couple of bodies in this trunk. Obviously it's an old car, leaks a little bit. I think we've got a couple of bottles of water there and a bottle of oil. I know it leaks from the cam cover gasket, but that's not a big deal. We'll be pulling all that stuff apart anyway. And yeah, here's the other side, if anybody wants some body panels.
Meanwhile,